Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Ninjago video here on the channel. My name is TannerFishies. In today's video, we are going to be explaining where you as Ninjago fans can watch Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 3 on release day on April 17th, and also in a certain case, maybe a little bit early. Now with that being said, just for a quick couple of disclaimers, I make this type of video pretty much every time we are approaching a new chapter of Ninjago Dragons Rising, just because I get a bunch of questions. Hey, where can I watch this? Is it coming out on this streaming service or this one? I will answer all of that in today's video. I will say though, in terms of a time reference, I will be using my time zone. I live in the Central Time Zone, so when I say a certain time, I am referring to the Central Time Zone. Feel free to use some online conversions to figure out what my time in Central Time is in your time zone. And since we are exactly 1 week away from Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 3, at least in terms of the official launch, I figured now would be as good a time as any to make this video. And with that out of the way, let's get into it because there are actually quite a few methods to watching Dragons Rising Season 3 this time around. First of all, we have the early French release of Dragons Rising Season 3, which actually takes place later today. As later today, around 5 p.m. my time, the first 2 episodes of Dragons Rising Season 3 will air in France through Oku TV. Obviously, it's not going to be in English, since it is coming out in France. All of the episodes will be in French, and Oku TV was responsible for airing the first 2 episodes just yesterday in one of their theaters in France. So now they are releasing the first 2 episodes in a wide release to everyone. Obviously, this method is good if you would like to watch Dragons Rising Season 3, or at least the first 2 episodes, nearly a full week early. However, if you don't speak French, I'm not sure how much you're going to get out of this method of watching Dragons Rising Season 3. I personally will not be watching Dragons Rising Season 3 through this method, just because, again, I don't speak French, and I'm sure a lot of the rips that do end up online are going to be super low quality. We are probably not going to be seeing actual high quality versions of these episodes right away either. So again, it doesn't really give me much of an incentive to watch it early, if that makes sense. But of course, you know, that's just me. If you would like to watch the first 2 episodes a little bit early, they will be airing later today around 5 p.m. I'm sure a lot of different rips of these episodes will surface online with people putting their names on it, watermarked, stamped across the middle. You know, despite them not owning the actual content of what they're posting, it's a Ninjago tradition at this point. Like I said, that's probably one of the worst methods in my opinion. Speaking of YouTube though, the next way that you can watch Dragons Rising Season 3 is actually on YouTube through the official LEGO YouTube channel. Now earlier today, as of the time of recording, this is the only episode that they have listed, but LEGO has actually put up a premiere for the first episode of Dragons Rising Season 3 on their YouTube channel. Now again, if you don't see this, if you live outside the US, you might want to hop on some kind of US VPN. That way you can watch it. Sometimes LEGO's videos, LEGO's content is region locked, region restricted, so if you don't see this premiere, you might live outside of the region where it's actually available. So again, hop on a VPN, all that good stuff. But this right here shows me that YouTube will actually be housing some Dragons Rising Season 3 episodes officially through LEGO's channel. Right now, the premiere is set for 5 a.m. Central Time, which is actually pretty early on Thursday. I will say though, I'm not sure how many episodes LEGO will be putting out on Thursday. Ideally, they would put the entire season on there. That would just be awesome, you know, at one given time. However, if we take a look back at what LEGO did last year with airing Dragons Rising Season 2 on their channel, basically they put up the first 2 episodes on release day, then they waited a week, then put up the next 2. So if they do something similar this time, we can expect maybe episode 1 and 2 of Dragons Rising Season 3 on LEGO's official YouTube channel on release day, but then we would probably have to wait a week for the next 2 episodes, making the entire thing kind of like a 5-week event if we go by the pattern of 2 episodes per week. So while this is a good way and a mostly free way to watch Dragons Rising Season 3 from an official source, of course you might be waiting up to 5 weeks to get the entire season. That's not really the best method out there. However, they will be posting the episodes officially on YouTube, so if you would like to watch them on YouTube, the option is there. If you would like to watch it in high quality from an official source. Next up here we have the Netflix method, which I'm sure will be the most common way for people to watch Dragons Rising Season 3, as it's been a common way for folks to watch Dragons Rising over the last several releases. Now, as of right now, Dragons Rising Season 3 is still scheduled for April 17th on Netflix. Usually Netflix stuff drops around 2 a.m. Central Time, at least in terms of new content. That's about 3 hours before LEGO puts the episodes on YouTube, so keep that in mind as well. One thing that I will say about the Netflix release, though, apparently Netflix themselves hasn't really been promoting Dragons Rising Season 3, causing some folks to suspect that Dragons Rising Season 3 will actually not be on Netflix. I'm not sure if that's actually going to be the case. I don't see a reason why it would not be on Netflix, considering that Dragons Rising has premiered on Netflix again for every other episode drop that we've gotten, plus the Ninjago wiki still says Netflix. So as of right now, I'm still inclined to believe that Dragons Rising Season 3 will actually air on Netflix as usual. However, things could change, and if something does change, I will be sure to update you guys down below in the comment section. But as of right now, that is the method that I personally am using, and again, if you do not see Dragons Rising Season 3 on Netflix on release day, it might be a region thing. I know specifically for the United States, that version of Netflix will have Dragons Rising Season 3, but if you don't see it in your area, again, you might want to jump on some kind of US VPN if you live outside of the US, of course. And finally here, a very similar method to that of the Netflix release, we have the infamous streaming service known as Peacock, also releasing the episodes of Dragons Rising Season 3, apparently at the exact same time as Netflix, 2 a.m. Central Time on April 17th. Now, I know as Ninjago fans, we are not very fond of Peacock as a streaming service, just because we are still holding a very understandable grudge because they leaked Season 2 Part 2 several months early last year. Obviously, nothing like that happened this year, thank goodness. However, apparently they will still be housing Dragons Rising Season 3 and planning to release it at the same time. So if you don't have Netflix, this would be a good alternative. I have both Netflix and Peacock. I think I'm more so going to be watching the episodes on Netflix. But long story short, if you were looking for another method to watch Dragons Rising Season 3, well, Peacock will apparently have the entirety of Season 3 Part 1 on April 17th at 2 a.m. Central Time, same time as Netflix. So I guess it's just a case of pick your poison. And with that being said, I'm sure there are other methods as well. I'm sure some folks will be putting them up on their YouTube channels. Again, probably with the aforementioned watermarks for content that they do not own. I'm sure people will be uploading them to various Google Drives, Discord servers, whatever people usually do whenever new episodes come out. However, the methods that I gave you, for the most part at least, are very official ways of watching Dragons Rising Season 3, and I do believe it is important to watch Dragons Rising Season 3 officially if you can. That would just show LEGO, Ninjago, everyone involved that we like the show, we want more of the show. The best way to support the show is to watch it legitimately and officially. So like I said, I shared some methods in today's video. Feel free to leave all of your thoughts, theories, speculation, comments, all of that good stuff down below in the comment section. And thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed this one, feel free to like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I will talk to you guys again very, very soon. Peace.